the Zoom recording is basically suddenly disconnected for some reason, which basically disconnect the Animoji that I basically wanted to make while live streaming into OBS, into YouTube obviously. So yeah, this is pretty weird. Maybe the internet connection or the Wi-Fi seems to be not capable to do this at the same time. So yeah, I finally come back, connected into the AirPlay from my iPhones into the Mac, into the Zoom application obviously, in order to be able to be cropped in the OBS studio, because if I try to connect directly into the MacBook Air, it's basically turn my not MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, it's basically turn the screen of the MacBook Pro into the exact monitor, which basically cannot operate anything beside it. I just don't get it why Apple tried to do that, because maybe they want to make the AirPlay dedicated directly into the operating system instead of in the form of application, perhaps, I'm not sure. But yeah, basically I'm able to do this kind of live stream during my free time again, because previously I tried to do it on my free time after doing a network call. So it turns out I can only do it for around 3 minutes, because suddenly I got interrupted. So most likely this time I will not be interrupted, but I'm not sure whether I will try to create a very long emoji motivation or this unnecessary talk, because yeah, I actually prefer to do a karaoke again after creating several Animoji gaming, a very short footage of my Grand Theft Auto Online when I tried to do a second characters, because I thought I will able to see the cutscene of any kind of business places that I just recently bought, but it turns out the cutscene seems to be not appear, maybe because the overall progress of in the world that basically shared between the characters is actually recorded. So that's the reason why most of the gang hideout that I already tried to complete is also happened to be complete as well in the second characters. And yeah, sadly we can only create 2 characters maximum, I guess, in the Grand Theft Auto Online in a single account. So in order to make another characters, you basically need to delete your character first, one of the 2 characters. But yeah, it will definitely lose all of your inventory or any kind of purchase that you have been done. So definitely I won't try to do that, because I already tried to purchase so many things, or several things that basically pretty expensive in both characters. So yeah, I only tried to record a very short video, so it's basically pretty much like an unboxing video, so it's less than 10 minutes. It's only 3 video as well. So because yesterday I just tried to test my new coiled HDMI cables, which basically pretty cheap. It is actually seen on the previous unboxing, which I'm not sure when will I basically upload it, but it's actually one of the last unboxing that I tried to do, because I'm not sure, I am trying to save more money in order to spend something that basically pretty cheap, and I just don't want to waste it, and hopefully I can basically made it until when I finally got another payday to my main job. Because yeah, sadly this kind of personal productivity is not giving me any kind of profit at all. Even if it was finally give some profit, I will most likely try to donate it, perhaps, I'm not sure, because as long as it's basically not significant to basically expand or fulfill my desire, expand productivity or personal desire, I think I will try to, I don't know, use it for good purposes in hope that it's basically make me more satisfied. Because yeah, for some reason when I try to just fulfills or my desire through the money that I basically got, it's basically seems to be always not enough. Yeah, just like what many other people try to keep getting richer all the time, even though they basically already very rich. So that's the reason why. But for me, I basically not really wanted to have more and more expensive things or services, because for me it's basically just a temporary desire which basically you will lose eventually when you are already no longer exist in this world. So that's the reason why I basically prefer to have each of the things that basically have the same purposes, so it doesn't need to be the best. So at least I basically own those kind of type. Just like when I try to do or manage the money that basically I got in Grand Theft Online. So basically I try to spend on any kind of additional features first before basically fulfilling on the same exact expensive things that basically not really matters or not really make your income better. So yeah, that's the reason why when you talk about the credits or any kind of lending or money lending, I'm not sure what's basically that's called, but yeah, it's basically better if you use it for your own business, not for fulfilling your personal desire, because the revenue or the interest that you will need to pay is basically will waste your money at the same time that the product that you basically bought is will also be decreased, unless it was a very rare products perhaps, even though yeah, for some reason there is always a risk, just like an investment perhaps, I'm not sure. So yeah, I basically will have another free time after this next week and also the next week perhaps, or maybe there is some unexpected additional free times. But yeah, well, after it I will need to go into some pretty long vacation to overseas. So if you talk about my vacation, I'm really rare to do it because I'm pretty much an antisocial person that basically not really like in the crowd places, especially when going into places that basically I don't know, meet someone who seems to be better than me in terms of the wealth. So I'm not really confident with that, even though yeah, for some reason if you try to go into a very unfortunate places, it will also definitely makes you not comfortable because you seems to be feeling dangerous perhaps, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty much, so the last vacation that I tried to make overseas is actually almost more than 5 years ago. So more than 6 years ago, I guess. So the previous one is even more than 10 years ago. So basically it is actually longer because yeah, obviously the pandemic is already run more than 2 years, so there's definitely a very rare case to travel overseas during that time. So yeah, but yeah, at the same time I just cannot realize that the time is basically run very fast, because previously at the last time that I basically do this kind of vacation or trip, so basically my brother's not even married yet, and now it's already got a son and almost had a child that almost going into school. So yeah, that's pretty long because yeah, there's a 6 years gap, which is definitely pretty long. And if you talk about 10 years gap, it's basically even crazier because yeah, during that time, my big brothers, is even around 2 or 3 years younger than my current condition. So yeah, it's just pretty crazy how times is really run very fast. And it seems to be when I basically come back into my old past selves, I most likely see the same thing because for me, to be honest, as an antisocial person, once again, I never really see so much difference at the time that I basically goes into junior high school perhaps, or maybe I'm just trying to keep up or be consistent with myself because to be honest I don't really like the people that basically change, even though yeah I can basically accept it because yeah people just need to be adapt with their current condition or maybe their own life path or goals that they want to pursue in the rest of their life. So but for me, I'm just trying to enjoy and being confident to what my current condition and also basically try to be better. So instead of completely change from my old self. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm basically pretty confident, not confident, pretty satisfied doing this kind of thing, even though yeah, it will basically not really make a lot of attraction to the viewers because definitely sadly there is no viewers yet, or maybe there is, I'm not sure because I didn't open the live streaming dashboard for some reason because there used to be a chat that basically pop up every time that I try to open the OBS, but for some reason it just never been appeared again. Maybe I used to hide it on the Windows because previously I used to hide it, but when I try to restart the OBS it's basically pop up again. Maybe because the YouTube account is basically connected into the OBS, so that's the reason why there is a features that basically act as the local dashboard into your YouTube live streams. So but it's okay, there will be sadly there will be no chatting or live chat as well yet, and I'm not sure when will be basically happen because yeah, even though I basically use an English and international language that basically can cover up a lot of people, but doesn't mean I basically can get a lot of views than when I try to use a native language, my own native language, with just an Indonesian viewers. Because for some reason, I don't know, maybe I just want to be consistent with the first video that I basically try to make. So I will always try to focus on creating an English content, even though basically there is still an Indonesian content that basically exists on my channel, especially when I need to do it with my college friends because yeah, it's pretty awkward when we try to communicate in a different language unless we are really confident with it, like an English club perhaps, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's already 14 minutes and it's actually still not as long as one of several of my previous streams that's basically can up to 7 minutes. So I'm still basically have a lot of things to talk, but I don't know, but yeah, I'm still basically get a little bit satisfied just by doing this instead of not doing this, and will basically just regret in the future because yeah, for some reason it's just act as an archive or a daily reflection, or yeah, that you basically can see in the future that I used to experience this kind of thing in the past. Yeah, it's basically not really matters because for some reason you just need to forget about things in the past, but yeah, it's still basically pretty satisfying thing to remember about things that happened in the past. So yeah, I used to write a diary, or I'm still basically pretty often to write a daily journal, but it was already a digital because I always try to write it on my iPhone directly. So yeah, that's the reason why it's basically pretty confident, even though it still make me lazy to do it. So that at some point I basically try to do it several days at once, even though it's basically kind of reduce the purposes, but yeah, at least I'm still do it. And basically I'm not sure whether I will try to create those kind of things into a content, because yeah, basically I try to prepare the journal, or try to explain the story in a more public way, so it's there. Some of the things that basically seems to be private, I try to explain it with another perspective or point of view. So yeah, it's already almost 17 minutes, and basically I'm already pretty tired holding the phone all the time for this kind of Animoji. So besides, my phone battery is already 84%, so I basically need to charge this phone first, or maybe I will try to do charging as well as creating the Animoji in the same time, which basically will make the battery kind of constant at those point all the time, so it will not charge but it will not be decreased as well. Yeah, I don't know what things that I want to talk about, but yeah, I think I will try to get my charger first and stop this recording, because most likely I wanted to do karaoke instead, but yeah, it will not be a live stream, so it will be just a recording, just like the previous karaoke that basically almost or 20 songs perhaps that I already sing. Basically I already tried to sing those songs most likely in the application, but I tried to do it again because yeah, I just think that it will basically a little bit more simple than when I tried to find the karaoke music manually on the YouTube. So yeah, that's the reason why yeah, I just keep saying the same words all the time, and basically yeah, maybe because I don't actually know about, yeah, I don't really use English as my daily language, or unless in the professional work, but yeah, it's still basically use native language at some point, because for some reason other people is also not really confident to use this kind of language, especially to talk into the same people that basically a little bit easier to explain on the native language, obviously. So yeah, it's already the longest live stream that I try to make. Perhaps it's already 19 minutes, and yeah, I don't know. I think I will try to stop